The moon is the easiest celestial object to find in the night sky. Earth's only natural satellite hovers above us bright and round until it seemingly disappears for a few nights. Although a satellite of Earth, the moon, with a diameter of about 2,159 miles, is larger than Pluto. There are in fact 4 other moons in our solar system that are even bigger. The moon is exceptionally large relative to Earth. However, while it is a quarter of the Earth's diameter, it is only slightly more than 1.2% of its mass. It is in fact the largest moon in the solar system relative to the size of its planet. At more than 1/4 the size of Earth at 27%, it is still a much smaller relationship than any other planets and their moons. Moon phases and the moon's orbit are mysteries. For example, the moon always shows us the same face. That happens because it takes 27.3 days to rotate on its axis and to orbit Earth. Because Earth is moving in its orbit around the Sun at the same time, it takes slightly longer for the moon to show the same phase to Earth, which is about 29.5 days. We see a full moon, a half moon, or no moon because the moon reflects sunlight. How much of it we see depends on the moon's position in relation to Earth and the Sun. The rhythm of the moon's phases has guided our calendar since a month is roughly equal to the time it takes to go from one full moon to the next.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
35 seconds and counting. We are still go with Apollo 11. 30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds.
With this vehicle, the flight to the moon will be accomplished.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6.
We have a liftoff, 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower cleared. Got a roll program. Apollo 11 and Saturn gave us a magnificent ride. 11 Houston, your guidance is converged. You're looking good.
Downrange 140 miles, altitude 62 miles.
11 Houston, thrusters go. All engines, you're looking good. All right, Roger, you're loud and clear.
We're 10 minutes away from ignition on trans-lunar injection.
Apollo 11, this is Houston. You are go for TLI, over. Apollo 11, this is Houston. Thrust is good. Everything's still looking good.
Apollo 11, Houston, we recommend you accept on 49. Continue through your sequence of sightings, and then we'll analyze the data afterwards, over.
Okay.
34,000 feet per second now, altitude 152. 35,000 feet per second. Cut out.
Noun 44 is NA. Delta VT 001907. 003 00152.
0908 plus correction 00572.
Roger, Eagle, contact. Eagle has wings.
Right.
Okay, all flight controllers, go for landing. Retro. Go. Fido.
Go.
Guys, go. Control.
Go.
Telcom.
Go.
GSP.
Go.
Ecom.
Go.
Surgeon. Go. Capcom, we're go for landing.
Altitude 4200.
Houston, you're a go for landing, over.
1201.
Roger, 1201 alarm.
1201 alarm. We're go flight. Okay, we're go.
We're go, 60 seconds. Lights on, forward, forward, 40 feet down, 2.5, picking up some dust, straight shadow, 4 forward, drift into the right a little, 30 seconds, forward, contact light, okay, engine stop, we copy you down, Eagle.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
See, we copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Neil, we see you coming down the ladder now.
I'm going to step off the limb now.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston? Neil, yes, we are getting a TV picture. Magnificent sight out here. Magnificent desolation. Here, men from the planet Earth, first set foot upon the moon, July 1969. It came in peace for all mankind.
Houston, Columbia, again, over.
Columbia, this is Houston reading you loud and clear, over.
How's it going?
I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene.
That's all right, I don't mind a bit.
They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar system.
Beautiful, just beautiful. We feel that this stands as a symbol of the insatiable curiosity of all mankind to explore the unknown. Apollo 11, signing on.
July 16, 1969. After Mercury, Gemini, 4 manned Apollo flights, triumphs, tragedy, and years of hard work from thousands of Americans, Apollo 11 was set to launch on its simply stated but monumental mission: perform a manned lunar landing and return. At 9:32 a.m., the 36-story Saturn V rocket used its 7.5 million pounds of thrust to propel astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins into space, and history.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower cleared.
3 days later, Armstrong and Aldrin climbed into the lunar module Eagle to attempt the first ever landing on the moon's surface. Collins, who stayed behind on the command module Columbia, called Eagle the weirdest looking contraption I have ever seen in the sky. During the final seconds of Eagle's descent, with computer alarms sounding and fuel running dangerously low, Armstrong manually took control of the ship and steered clear of boulders that littered the landing site. On July 20, 1969, Armstrong finally radioed back to an anxious Earth.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
6 hours later, Armstrong stepped off the Eagle's ladder onto the lunar surface.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Aldrin joined him on the moon about 15 minutes later. The astronauts spent 2.5 hours collecting soil samples, rocks, setting up experiments, and photographing the surface from a vantage point considered impossible less than a decade earlier. Millions around the world watched on live TV. The crew made a triumphant return to Earth 4 days later with a splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. This was no longer the stuff of science fiction. It was fact. Men from Earth had visited another world and returned.
From Earth, the Moon and Sun appear to be about the same size. That accounts for the effects of coverage during eclipse. During an eclipse, the Sun, Earth, and Moon are all in a straight line. Solar eclipse occur at new moon, when the Moon is between the Sun and Earth. In contrast, lunar eclipse occur at full moon, when Earth is between the Sun and Moon. The apparent size of the Moon is roughly the same as that of the Sun, despite the fact the Sun is much larger. It is because the precise vastly greater distance of the Sun coincidentally gives it the same apparent size as the much closer and much smaller Moon from the perspective of Earth. In a total eclipse, the Moon completely covers the disk of the Sun and the solar corona becomes visible to the naked eye. Because the distance between the Moon and Earth is very slowly increasing over time, the angular diameter of the Moon is decreasing. Also, as it evolves toward becoming a red giant, the size of the Sun and its apparent diameter in the sky are slowly increasing. The combination of these two changes means that hundreds of millions of years ago, the Moon would always completely cover the Sun during a solar eclipse. Likewise, hundreds of millions of years in the future, the Moon will no longer cover the Sun completely, and total solar eclipses will not occur.